Hello and welcome to CAN, the Cousin Approved Network, where we tell the truth, the whole truth, most of the time. COVID-19 is really creating havoc, particularly amongst the sports world now. For instance, Wimbledon, to accommodate social distancing, will now be played as a table tennis tournament, singles only. The Two Oceans Marathon, as we know, will now be held at the actual point in Cape Agulhas where the line meets, where the Atlantic and the Indian Oceans meet together. So to complete the marathon in record time, they just have to step across the line, one at a time, clearly in a 2-meter distance, to observe social distancing. Rugby stadiums are quite hard hit. There's going to be a limited number of spectators allowed at any one time in the stadium, but I think teams like the Crusaders out of the Southern Hemisphere won't worry about that because they only get an average of 13 people at a game anyway, on a good day. The Olympics are also affected. The Games chief, in fact, has indicated that the Olympics will be totally affected if they cannot get this pandemic under control. They're obviously not talking about the COVID-19, they're talking about steroids and performance-enhancing drugs. Besides that, if it did go ahead with the COVID-19 situation and all the athletes wear masks, who is going to know who won? Now, to further accommodate social distancing, rally drivers have been affected to this as well. They now have to compete the rally with only the GPS as their navigator. I don't know about you, but personally, I love a good argument. So when I get in my car, I always put the wrong address into my GPS anyway. So when it says to me, you've got to turn left now, I'll say, no, I'm in charge here, I'll drive here. Darts has been reduced now to neighborhood darts. The World Series has actually come to a grinding halt, but neighbors can actually now play against each other. There are strict rules. The two opposing kitchen windows have to be in perfect alignment with each other, saying that cheating will be completely frowned upon. Because if one of the competitors closes his window, it will result in immediate disqualification, because as we know, glazing is not an essential service. Synchronized swimming will be permitted with a minor rule change or two. A team can actually compete in the synchronized swimming, but only one competitor doing the same routine twice. The same goes for diving, synchronized diving, one diver, but the splash on the entry will be doubled to make it fair. Golf will be played by singles only, so most variations of the game as we know it now will be rendered useless. The norm in future will be 2-ball. Ladies golf has been slightly affected with the fact that they automatically will make the cut. And finally, Brazilian football superstar Neymar will have to be virtually fouled in his garden in order for him to roll around like a complete idiot, writhing in agony for 5 to 10 minutes. And when he gets up, he can't argue directly with the ref. He has to go back to his studio and talk to the ref and other officials using Zoom or other social media platforms. So, I've got a friend who makes me laugh all of the time. Not because he's funny, it's just because he has this different outlook on life and he talks aloud and he's hilarious, but he doesn't know it. But if I got one of those friends, I'm pretty sure that you've got one of those friends. So let me introduce you to my friend, Jerry from Joburg. Jerry, you're on, bro.
I don't smoke politics. But if Julius Malema studied Shakespeare, he would have come on a stage and said to be E or not to be E. Now I'm not scared of this expropriation without compensation. I've been divorced so many times. I could write a book about it.
You could. Okay.
They say Jacob is swimming in debt at the moment, is it, eh? Maybe he should have learned to swim in his fire pool. You know, I thought the DA was connected to an Eastern Bloc syndicate for crime because when you look at the poster, it says "Da" in Russian. How's old Sharon, eh? She broke the rules. She went to a very expensive lunch with friends. It cost her 1,000 rands, eh? And a month's pay. Now that's just some desserts, eh? Cyril says you can smoke and buy cigarettes, but Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma says you can't, eh? Is she trying to light a fire or is it just a smoke screen? A large portion of police are overweight. So I'll ask you, eh, how are they ever going to chase after the joggers after 9 o'clock? 1/3 of the police are overweight. I reckon it's the middle third between the head and the feet. If our ministers say the new National Health Service in South Africa is brilliant, why do they go to Cuba for hospital treatment? And we've also imported 300 Cuban doctors. There's a Moorse dilemma because all these oaks smoke their cigars and they can't get it.
I'm sure we'll find.
Now Jacob's lawyer Jacob's lawyer said he was going to be tried in absentia. And I'm thinking, what is that? A new province?
Well, thank you, Jerry. That was quite interesting. What type of news network would be worth its salt if it didn't have a foreign correspondent? We searched the globe all over the place to find the best correspondent we could possibly get for you. We think we've hit it on gold with our next chap. I'd like to introduce you to the world-renowned, fantastic David A.
Africa, the land of the big five. The lion, leopard, rhino, elephant, and of course the rhinoceros. One wonders why the giraffe was excluded. Perhaps he was just destined to be the lookout.
Well, there we have it, straight from the mouth of David A. You can't get better than that. This is Barry Hilton coming to you live from the Cousin Approved Network, where we tell you the truth, the whole truth, most of the time. Till next time, take it easy. Thank you.